Welcome in, everybody. I got Liam Lloyd from Northern Arizona University joining me. Liam, how you doing today?
Great. How are you, Dan?
Good. Thanks for coming on, man. Liam went to Gonzaga Prep and grew up in the Spokane community, so go way back for sure. So my first question I want to ask you: you grew up in Spokane. What was it like? Your dad coached at Gonzaga for a while, and is now the head coach at Arizona. What was it like growing up just around Gonzaga basketball in that atmosphere?
Yeah, growing up around Gonzaga basketball, it's always been a big part of my life and something I've been really grateful for. And the people I've met and the experiences I've made growing up at Gonzaga are things that I'll cherish for the rest of my life and stuff that I'm really just thankful for. Like I made lifelong relationships with like the Few Boys and the Rice Brothers and the Wojcicks, right? Because all their dads came through and they were coaches. So, it's brought so much just opportunity into my life that I'll be able to basically piggyback off of for the rest of my life.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Let's talk about when you first committed to Grand Canyon, and then uh, your dad ironically gets the job at Arizona. Kind of like break down like that like initial kind of reaction, like hearing your dad's going to coach at Arizona.
Yeah, he told us when he got the job offer, and it's one of those things that it's Arizona, right? It's like a storied program. It's a respected program in college basketball, and it's been that way for a long time. So it's one of those jobs you just can't turn down, and it was kind of the perfect fit for him. So I was super excited because I know that he was kind of ready to step into that role as a head coach and kind of take over his own team. But I mean, yeah, I could just say I was just excited. And being down the street from where I used to go or where I used to go to college, like I could see my mom on the weekends. I get to see it's an hour and a half, so we get to see everybody, if that makes sense. So it was cool.
Right, for sure. So I want to get into Liam had a lot of success in high school, play with Anton at Gonzaga Prep, and you guys won back-to-back state titles. I won't go too much into it. Just what are like some things you took away from just like those couple years at Prep with the success y'all had?
Yeah, the success we had, I feel like everyone looked at it as wow, these guys are so good, right? But everything was earned, if that makes sense. Like we worked every day, and the chemistry we had on and off the court was amazing. And it's kind of one of those like lifelong bonds. Like they're like my brothers, and they'll always be my brothers forever, right? So I feel like winning all those state championships was awesome, but the lifelong relationships that came from that will be even better, if that makes sense.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, they were really good to watch, guys. They were a good team. They played some really good teams and fed away with McDaniel's, who's on the Timberwolves right now. So
Yeah, Tar Easton too.
yeah, Tari's with Houston, so some really good competition in our graduating year in Washington. I want to get to real quick just your freshman year. We were at GCU for a little bit. Decided to enter the portal after our freshman year.
Oh yeah,
Now at North. Say that again.
after the COVID year, yeah. So I was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. After the COVID year. So sorry, I forget you guys get a year back. What what will you remember from your time at GCU and kind of like do you think that just some memories you had there before you went on at NAU?
Yeah, the atmosphere at GCU is one of a kind, and it's something that I valued being recruited out of high school. So I think being able to experience my 2 years at GCU was a big part in growing as a person. If that makes any sense. And I got a lot better as a basketball player as well. And then I was able to take that into my next college when I transferred. I was ready to step into that. So I'm really thankful for GCU, and I'm thankful for the coaches there, and I mean the love they showed me every day. And to this day, they still text me, check in on me. So I'm just really thankful for my time at GCU and growing as a person. So yeah.
Awesome. So we get to NAU and you know, didn't this past year definitely had some ups and downs. I mean, we'll get to it. First thing that kind of stood out to me looking at just like you and your season, you guys played some really pretty solid non-conference games. Arizona State, Michigan State, Texas, UC Santa Barbara were all in the tournament. Do you think those games early on in the season helped y'all like later, like with the conference tournament and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like the whole year we were ready, and we were peaking towards the conference tournament. If that makes sense, we were playing our best basketball as a team. So like playing all those games early in the year, like it's a great test. But sometimes playing those games is really hard, right? Because then your confidence kind of gets beat down a little bit. So I mean, moving forward, I'm pretty sure we're gonna play some good games next year, and then I think we'll play a couple games that are like real winnable games. If that makes sense. Just to kind of build our confidence going into the season this time, going into the conference schedule. So hopefully we can carry that momentum throughout the rest of the year.
LLoyd here on the Dloading podcast. Like you said, you had a lot of close ones. So in those losses, I mean, any loss in any locker room was gonna, be a little demoralizing. How did you guys end up, sticking together and staying confident in some of those losses this season?
Yeah, I mean it was hard. Like we had our days, we had our fair share of fights, verbally, physically, right? But at the end of the day, it's all love, and we all loved each other, and we all knew that we were all building towards something, right? Like we always said that, hey, like we just got to get to the tournament, like, and all of us were kind of mentally ready for that. So I think just all of our hard work throughout the year and like our coach installing like that belief in us just helped us kind of just put us on that pedestal when we came to the tournament, so that we could play our type of basketball, and it worked, right?
Yeah, let's get to that. So you guys played in Boise, and you mentioned earlier, about the Rices.
Mhm.
Just kind of crazy how it connects that you guys played in Boise and in the conference tournament. You guys played Eastern, right down the road from Spokane, and you guys took them down. Kind of just, I mean, that was a huge win for you guys. Believe it was like one. It was a buzzer beater, correct?
Yeah, no, yeah, I was at the buzzer. Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. It was on Sports Center and everything. So just kind of like, just talk about that game, like if you could, just like, I mean, we all saw what happened. You guys won, but just kind of like if you could break down that game, like just the atmosphere in there and everything.
Yeah. So speaking of the Rice Boys, the Rice Boys and all the Boise State guys all went to that game, right? So they're all chirping the whole. It was it was fun, right? And I mean, Eastern's Eastern, right? They're really respected in our league, so like we had to play good, right? And we hadn't beat them in, I think, I'm pretty sure, a very long time. So I mean, we knew we could play with them. We knew we could beat them. It was just a matter of going out and doing it. So I mean, throughout the game, like it was a close game the whole time. We were leading most of the game actually, and then towards the end of the game, I think they were up by two, and Steel Ventures got fouled, go to the free throw line, and he missed both, and he's a really good free throw shooter, but on low attempts though, on low attempts. But he missed both, and then we came down, and our young freshman made a play, hit a big shot. Yeah, and that's just all it was.
Was that the what was crazier? Anton's game winner against Richland or that game winner in Boise?
Probably, I think that the game winner in Boise. I mean, the Richmond one was great, and it was like, I mean, a huge one for us winning the state championship. The one in Boise was kind of like a more of like a Cinderella type, because like the one in at the state tournament was like we were supposed to win, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean the other one's kind of like a Cinderella story almost. So I think that one holds a little more value to me, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, yeah, it was insane. I can only imagine. I mean, beating the one seed too is
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive. Like you said, Eastern was a good team this year.
yeah, they had some good players.
Yeah, Steele's now at Gonzaga too, so it's kind of full circle for sure. So, you guys get to. I mean, you guys only lost by Montana State by a couple of points. I mean,
Yeah,
just like you guys, like I said, had some maybe not as many wins as you would like, but you guys definitely like turned it around at the right time
hmm
and almost made the tournament. So, what are you guys looking forward to just taking into this next season after the end of season success?
yeah. I think just carrying our momentum that we had throughout the year. I think. I mean, we have a young core. We're a young team, so we graduate nobody this upcoming year. We've added a few pieces that will help us, and they'll, I mean, help us win games, I should say. And I mean, losing Jalen Cone, obviously, really good player, will be hard, and it's going to be something that we need to adjust to. But I think as a team, we can be better. If that makes sense. And I think finishing games and all that stuff. I think going in this next year will be better because I mean you get a little taste of winning, right? It becomes an addiction. So hopefully we can just carry our momentum into next season and win some games.
Right. Let's talk about you for a second. Average about 6 a game. Just tell me, like you said, you played such a different role on this team. I mean, compared to you at Grand Canyon. Just kind of talk about, what how you feel you played in the season. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to be I mean, nobody is as
Yeah,
always, but just kind of like, talk about your year, just some games you really felt like you played well in, and just like what you want to work on
yeah,
going into the 23 season.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like throughout the year I was really aggressive to start the year, and then I kind of settled in my role the rest of the year. If that makes sense. Because I mean, I want to win games. I'm a big. That's all I care about, right? I don't care about my individual stats. Because at the end of the day, if you win, like it reflects on your personal success, right? So I feel like last year I could have done better. I could have had a better year. But I mean, I'm happy with how it went and how I adjusted into actually playing because it's like my first year actually playing like legit every game, like starting mostly at every game. And I mean, stepping into that role next year, I think I could be a good leader for our team and lead by example and just show with my effort and my toughness on the court how we want to win games. So, I mean, going into next year, I think I need to get my shooting percentages up, but I think that will come with just not forcing shots and being more comfortable because, like, yeah, I have a year under my belt of actually playing, right? So, like, going into this next year, I feel like I'm gonna be more comfortable, more confident making plays on and off the ball, and just installing confidence into my teammates.
It's a great response. Liam Lloyd here again on the Dloading podcast. I want to talk. Everyone's got that player growing up
Yeah,
who they wanted to play after, and then I want to ask you, who did you want to play like just in the pros or whatever, and whose game do you look up to now that you really like?
for sure. I mean, I would say, I mean, growing up was always Klay Thompson because I always respected how good of a shooter he was and how consistent he was, and his work ethic is obviously like one of the best. And so, I mean, Klay Thompson was probably that guy growing up for me. And then now, I mean, I'd probably say probably mix of Klay Thompson and most recently, I like the way Austin Reeves plays. I like how he's super aggressive, and I like how like I mean he's got some. I mean he's got some stuff to him. If that makes sense. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, no, he's a really good shooter. You both are got the corner three going for sure. One last question for Liam, guys. Thanks for joining me, Liam. I know this is probably going to be a tough one for you, but I gotta have a fun one here to end it.
do it.
Who, you talked about, Clay and Austin Reeves. Who was your, like the Zag you saw you wanted to, kind of not, play like or like just, you know, look like after, when you're in college? Who did you look up to the most? I mean, not the most, but who did you just like their work ethic while at Gonzaga seeing it?
I mean, I think as far as work ethic goes, I think Kevin Pangos. I mean, Kevin Pangos' work ethic was unmatched. Like he's one of those guys that's like growing up. I would always go in and watch him work out because my dad used to work him out. So I mean, he was in there every day. I mean, he was crazy, right? And he's not the most athletic guy by any means, but his work ethic kind of brought him to that next level, and now he's making really good money overseas. And he played in the NBA for a little bit. Played for the Cavs, right?
Right.
So I mean, I would say probably him as far as like work ethic, and probably I was at that age too where I was starting to like really fall in love with basketball. So yeah, Kevin Pangos. That's a good answer for me.
Really good shooter as well. Liam, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. Thanks again. I'm really excited to see your guys' your season. Wishing for success with you at NAU.
I appreciate it, my man.
All right, guys, we will see you next week.